Okay, so we've had a look at half guards attacking top. What I'm going to look at now is I'm going to look at kind of how catch wrestlers would attack half guard. Slightly different than a BJJ or even a wrestling philosophy. They have the idea that where you pin the head, if you pin the head, the rest of the body finds it difficult to follow. So I get in half guard, okay? And I've made a mistake in what we do in wrestling and in grappling when he gets his underhook. Yeah, he can work his way out to the back door now, okay? So I would either go overhook here and drive his shoulder to the floor, which is giving him the escape, or I would bar across his hips, and that would stop him being able to sit up with his underhook. If you watch some of the good catch wrestlers like Josh Barnett, for example, especially in his Dean Lister match, I'll show you what he does, okay? So his first thing, as soon as the underhook goes in, is to put his weight on the guy's head. Alright? So he drives the weight onto his guy's head and he grabs the wrist. Okay? So I've gone under here and I've grabbed the arm wrist. It's kind of a mixture of quarter Nelson, half Nelson, all that kind of stuff. He'll try and maintain his underhook because that's what he's taught to do, is to maintain his underhook. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive onto my feet, and I drive and I put loads of pressure onto his face. Alright, at the moment this is really uncomfy because everything that I own, all my body weight is on his head. And then I'm going to slip my knee past and I'm going to drive him physically back to the mat. Okay, look, I've got a reverse underhook here. Alright, it is an underhook, believe it or not, because it goes over the arm and under and back through and over the top. So it is a reverse underhook. If he tries to shrimp out and take my back, he can't. Okay, so it's called an inverted underhook officially. Alright, so one more time. If we turn to face that way, that's a good idea. Okay, so he goes half guard. Traditionally I would go overhook and try and palm him down or not let him get the underhook if he's got. Okay. These days, what I do is I tend to bar across his hips. So now when he tries to get his underhook and sit up, it's very difficult for him to do that. Okay. What we're looking at now is we're looking at a catch wrestling basis of what we're going to do. So as soon as I feel the underhook go in, I'm not going to pin his shoulder to the floor, which is going to allow him to move his hips. I'm going to pin his head to the floor, and I put a straight arm on top of it. I keep that underhook, I let him have that underhook, and I drive my hand onto my own wrist, and I grab hold tight, and then I go onto the balls of my feet, and I force everything into the ground. Graham might try and maintain some kind of half guard. So he might walk around that leg. He can do, for all I care. I'm just going to put loads of pressure on so I can drag that knee out. Now I turn this into an inverted underhook. So I put the palm on the front of his shoulder, and I was always taught to put my chest on the palm of my hand as I turn him to the front. Okay, in this position he's being pinned. Now in catch wrestling that's fine, being pinned in this position. Okay, but somehow I'm going to have to redevelop my underhook from here. How do I do that? Well, I would extend here, go back down to his hips, and then pummel into my underhook to come back up. Alright, so that's just a catch wrestling way of passing half guard. Alright, loads of pressure on the head, nailing the head to the floor with this quarter Nelson-y type thing, and it is a quarter Nelson-y type thing before anyone argues with me. Head pressure on the floor, and then standing up on your toes and driving your legs through. He can waggle his legs around and do things with his hips as much as you want, but if the side of his head is pinned to the floor by my body weight, it's almost impossible for him to do very much. Okay, so it's just a different way of doing stuff.